If your business is adopting AI and you're worried about protecting your data, this guide's for you. Everyone who is adopting artificial intelligence is thinking about how they should be connecting data, how to keep it safe and compliant and secure. Here are 8 practical steps you can take right now to keep your data safe. Number 1, classify what actually counts as sensitive information. That could be different for every company. It could mean customer data, personally identifiable info like PII, financial reports and figures. Maybe it's product docs or roadmap materials you don't want to share with anyone. Understanding what's sensitive is going to go a long way in actually protecting it. Number 2, sanitize that data before you connect it. So if you're going to be connecting sensitive documents to an LLM for whatever reason, you can sanitize it. Swap out customer names, employee names, financial figures, account numbers. Any client reference can be replaced with just the words customer A and customer B. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you're using that for productivity gains. You're not using it to share any specific information about customers. So why have that in there in the first place? 3, always, always, always disable model training. A huge misconception is that AI models are learning from you by default. That's not true. You can disable model training from most of the foundational providers. As long as you're not on the free version of the AI tool, you're probably okay. And you want to ask that vendor, does your platform actually train on our data? That's a really important question, and it's in your best interest to invest a little bit more and get that pro plan or whatever that allows you to disable training. Number 4, do not upload files directly to the LLM if you don't need to. Most of these foundational model providers allow you to connect third-party sources like Google Drive, Confluence, Notion, OneDrive. And if you have GDPR concerns, maybe you're worried about where those files are going to be hosted, that's a perfect solution for you. Because when you connect sources to the LLM, chances are they're not going to take the original file, they're going to vectorize it and store it in a format that's readable by the LLM. So while it's not perfect and it doesn't fully solve that GDPR concern, it's a little bit better than uploading those files directly. So use connectors anywhere you can. Number 5, log all your interactions with your LLM. What that means is if you're worried about data leakage, accountability, who said what, why did I get a certain answer, you should be logging everything that you say, everything you connect, and every answer you get back from an AI. You have no idea how much this can go a long way with helping with audits. You can trace data exposure incidents. And if something happens down the road, you can draw a straight line from who uploaded a piece of information to how that information got used. 6, always review your outputs. This is related to kind of how you have logging set up, but the best thing you could always do is check the outputs of the model, check for incorrect citations, hallucinations, and see if any context is being omitted that you really want used, right? Because a lot of these models will take your information and then they'll decide what to do with it. There's still a risk of hallucination. There's still a risk of, some kind of reputational damage if you get a bad answer. So always check the outputs and train your team on always checking the outputs because that's going to give you a lot less legal exposure. That's going to make you a lot more confident in the AI system. Number 7, use enterprise grade tools that give you governance controls. I can't stress this enough. I know you want to move quickly, but if you're going to work with AI and sensitive business data, you got to have some level of control over who does what and what files get used where, right? So you want to look for things like RBAC, role-based control over which users are able to access which parts of your LLM system. You want to have tiered file protections, basically telling the LLM, hey, these files can be used for this, those can be used for that, and having a clear way to segregate that data, and also tagging and classifying information differently, right? You want to be able to categorize your content, whether it's through some tagging system or some kind of folder-based system, because that's going to give you complete visibility into what data is being used by who and for what parts of the LLM. Finally, last but not least, keep your prompts small. Yeah, I know everyone's telling you that the context window is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but size does not matter here. The less information you put into a prompt, the more visibility you have into precision over what data gets used. You're avoiding irrelevant data from getting leaked, definitely reducing your risk. And finally, you're reducing your costs, right? The bigger the prompt window, the higher your costs are going to be, the more you're going to spend on inference. You don't need all that. Keep your context window small, keep control over what information gets in there, and you're going to feel a lot more confident, not only in the answers, but your own ability to not leak sensitive data.